Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Mongolo Croonings with Abby and her friends. I hope that you've been having a wonderful day, that your day's been good. Mine has been tiring. In fact, I got home and went straight to bed. I just woke up maybe about 30 minutes ago. So if you see my face still puffy, it's because I've been sleeping. I needed it. The weather is not bad. It's not been rainy. We had a flash rain for like maybe about a minute. Like the rain came now, brrrr, like oh, we were like, oh, is this a hail situation? Because last week, late last week, we had heavy hail. Like we even thought that, like in the taxi I was in, we thought the glass was going to split. It was a heavy hail, and as quickly as the hail came, the sun came out, and there was no indication that anything had happened. So, but it wasn't like that. It was just a flash rain flood today, and yeah, just went and got. And I went and did something special. I'm not going to show you everything, but yes, can you see that? Can you see that? Yep, I went and did that again to my head. So I'm not ready to show it yet. I don't feel as cute as I used to feel every time I shaved my head. And Laraba is smiling to herself because she's thinking, yes, bald girl gang. I was in that gang before you. Leave me, Joe. So, anyways, I'm going to be bringing on our guests who are already waiting in the sideline. We're going to be asking about their day, and then we'll be jumping straight into the question because today I'm going to be quite strict about the timing because I've got a very, very early morning session tomorrow. So let's bring on Lara back. How you doing, girly?
I'm fine. I'm fine. No, you look really amazing. I could see a bit of it. It's quite liberating, isn't it? When you can just shave it and you
The
just don't have to
first
worry.
time I did it, the first time I shaved my head, I sat down. I told you that I've been hit by alopecia. So when the
Mm.
whole Jada Pickett Smith thing came out, I was just like, beggy.
Ah,
So like
point.
I've got it. I had it real bad. I'm telling you,
Really?
I can't even tell you the amount of money I've spent just trying to get hair back on my head. Like the
Oh,
hair went.
oh.
The hair picked his bag and left. Like bye bye. I'm not living in this place again. Change postcode. I'm like, God Almighty. Where's
Yeah.
1 minute? That's I used to have dreadlocks. That's how the dreadlocks
That-
went to.
I
Because
remember.
I wake up in the morning, I just see hair on my pillow.
Oh,
Nothing. Not a thing on my head. And it wasn't
really?
just in one spot, it was in three different major spots. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to shave. So I tried holding on to the hair. The hair was like, Madam, we have packed our load. We are not living here anymore. We have
But,
moved. So I had
uh,
to go to the salon, and that first when that clipper hits my head, Jesus.
mm,
I felt like they were doing surgery on my boobs and everything. That's the way it felt. Like I
wow.
was being dehumanized.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
But the
Because I think
moment, go on.
you Okay, yeah, no, I was just gonna say that it's funny because sometimes I think that these stigmas that we put on ourselves, maybe because of these beauty standards. Because, I remember, I'm sure you may have had this similar experience that, like when you relax your hair, you want to be like the girl on the box. And if you're not like the girl on the box, you're slightly disappointed and you're just like, oh, well, that was me. Maybe it's different for you, but what I'm just
Mm.
saying is, hopefully, I feel like I've gotten over that now, and I can just, wear a bald head.
Me, because I had dreadlocks, it was my own hair. I really gloried in
Mm.
the fact, and Sasha, I'm going to bring Sasha on now. I really gloried in the fact that my own hair, this is my own hair that has grown. And as you can see, Sasha's got dreadlocks. That's all of her hair right there. So that
Hi, Sa-
knowledge of this is my hair. Hi, Sasha, how you doing? So that
Okay.
knowledge of this is my hair. It grew from my own scalp and everything. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, my hair that I was like so proud of, because my hair is super fine. I've got all kinds of like I've got hair from I've actually got 2B hair. So you can imagine how fine, almost like white hair. I've got 2B hair mixed in with like 3C hair in my
Girl,
head.
she's specific. To those who don't know,
Yeah,
it's
well,
like
it's like fine white hair together with kinky black hair mixed in. So that's how my hair is. So when you touch my dreadlocks, when people touch my dreadlocks, they're usually very surprised by how soft it is because they're thinking it's going to be a bit tangled. But even in the dread, it is super soft because of the tangled, the kind of hair that it is. So I love the fact that that's my hair. When the wind blows, my hair goes with it and everything. And it was thick and it was
so
full.
proud.
And all of a sudden, I'm waking up and finding strands of hair on the pillow. Hey!
Yeah.
And the next thing, I woke up one day, looked in the mirror, and there was no hair. The hair on both sides and top of gone. Gone. Like there was not one strand like this. So I had
Yeah.
to go to the barbers, and when he was cutting it, I was really in a state of shock. But once he shaved it and I went home and I calmed down and I just stood in front of the mirror and I kept looking, I was like, can I even find me here? Can I find my beauty? And remember, I went to military school and we were shaved all the time. And shaving was a form of like almost dehumanizing you. So it took me back
Yeah.
there again. But then I now sat down, I had a shower, put on makeup, and that's why you see when people say makeup, just makeup for me was like my saving grace because when I put that makeup on, I now was like, babe, you take style fine, oh. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I look good. And I started to really enjoy the bald hair. And then I now dyed what was growing blonde,
Ah,
and that
yes.
was revolutionary, in
Yeah.
itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Sasha, you've got your own dreadlocks. Sasha's hair is up to her knees or something. How long is your hair?
Um, yeah, I'd say probably, yeah, it's on my thighs. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's up to, yeah, almost reaching her knees. She has very long hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How
I
would you
mean,
feel, God forbid, you lost your you woke up and lost your hair?
that's the thing. I just have to adapt when this is it. Um, it's easy for
Sasha, I
me to
think it's easy to
say,
say it too until the
yeah,
thing
I,
happens. You'll be like, ah.
yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not in your situation. That's not happened to me. Uh, because hair, you see, the thing is, especially us as black women as well, we put a lot of.
Can you speak up a bit, please?
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, I probably need to bring my phone. I'm trying to. I was trying to connect to my laptop so it would be better, but I don't know how to do it because I'm really not that good with tech. But yeah, like I think us as black women, we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Like the hair thing just gets. I mean, I can remember watching this. I don't know if any of you's watched that. There's like this documentary type of thing that Chris Rock does.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
good
remember
hair,
we were
good
talking
hair.
about
what?
it.
Yeah, have you seen it? Yeah. And then at the end of it, well, I'm jumping a bit ahead, but he says, "Oh, I want my daughters to know." I think he had two daughters, was it? That they're both
Hmm.
beautiful, no matter what the hair looks like. Because to me, it was shocking. In America, there was like this kid. I don't know if you remember this bit, and she was like 5 or 6 years old, and her mum was taking her to get her hair relaxed, and it was obviously damaging her because you could see what it was
Hmm.
doing to her.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Kids still wanted to go and have it done because that
Hmm.
was well,
Mm.
I suppose, yeah, as a kid, I mean, you shouldn't have like much choice, but like, I just think that it was just madness,
Especially
you
with the
know.
fact that they found out now that ovarian cancer is linked to all that relaxer that women put on their hair.
Mm. Yeah.
So you're not only killing the girl's hair, but you're also killing her for the future in a way.
Crazy.
It's really sad, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is, I mean,
That's
wow,
crazy.
yeah, we could,
Sorry?
yeah, like I say, it's I know with the hair thing. I mean, I'm not bothered about stuff like that. You know,
Because you got plenty of it.
that's the thing. I'm not bothered about like, and that's what I mean. It's like with me, right? People say, "Oh, look at you, you dead." And even if I was fat, because to me, I do honestly believe the type of person that I am, none of that matters. This is just a vessel carrying a soul, yeah. So
Yeah,
what
well,
somebody
she's
else said,
Buddhist, so again, she
well,
looks at
yeah, I
life
know that's what.
differently.
Yeah, I do. Like I look at it like totally different than I suppose than the average person.
Lucky
But
you. Me, I'm
and
attached to my
pressure put on us. I mean, what we're talking about tonight, bullying, that will come across that, I suppose.
hair. Oh,
Especially as
yes. In
women.
the workplace, hair. Hair
No,
was a big thing.
I think women should be natural. You know, I'm not just talking about my hair. I'm talking about just the whole appearance. You know, because it's like it's all
Sasha,
about
don't let
looks and
us
men.
fight because you see that makeup. Don't go near that makeup. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I have to agree with that as
Leave
well.
the hair, the makeup
Well,
alone.
Leave the hair makeup.
you
I'm
know,
going
I
to bring
Yeah.
Nana
makeup.
because I can see Nana privately shoving some, I think, jollof rice into her mouth.
Oh no.
So Nana, you better tidy away that jollof because I'm about to bring you on. And Mr. H is also there. I'm going to be bringing Mr. H on in a moment. Yeah, you see, she quickly hits the jollof, sharp, sharp.
No,
I was
it's yogurt.
oh, it's yogurt. I was seeing the spoon just going, just going, just going.
I didn't know you could see me. I was like,
I can see
before I'm
you.
brought up, I said, before you bring me up, let me quickly finish my yogurt.
Oh,
I
I
was so
can see you.
excited. I'm seeing Sasha for the first time.
Oh, you haven't seen Sasha
No,
before?
it's always dark.
Yeah, oh,
And
that's true.
finally, I get to see Lara. But how are you all doing?
Very well, thank you. How are
Sasha,
you?
unmute yourself.
Fine.
Happy to see you. Talk to her.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Finally, I get to see Sasha.
I get to see Sasha in person. Sasha, you've muted yourself, please. Unmute. I see Sasha on the occasion. Like we'll be on the street, we just see each other. We're like, "Hey, how you
And
doing? Bye. See you later."
I see Lara posting things on the Mungalo Crewings group.
Laraba and
So,
her
yes.
many posts.
I saw. I know. I remember the first one I saw was when she was saying if someone could speak French. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I know I can speak French, but let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know some
I
of
like
the French
communication.
songs we used to sing in school? I actually
Uh
tried to
huh.
translate it and I was like, Abby, leave this thing. Respect
But you
yourself.
don't know. I was trying to sing it. I tried to teach someone some French things. I'm like, let's see how much you know French. So I'm like, Feno, electrogro, margari, electroptit. I like, but you should pick something. Say, grand, petite, big, small. Like, ah. So we went on and on. I'm learning Spanish, and I found out that it's easier to learn Spanish when you know French. So I tried to put a
Yeah.
pause on the Spanish classes. I went back to polish up on my French so that it would be easier.
Don't
So
worry, Laraba will accept us and our tata like that.
mhm.
Right?
It's not a problem. C'est pas un problème.
Okay.
You see? So even when we come and
Yeah.
we are like, je suis travail. What? How do you say? Then we now start saying, how do you
Travaille.
say?
Travailler, travailler. Yeah,
Travailler.
it's
Je
fine.
suis travaillé à la maison,
Supermarché.
l'école.
Supermarché.
L'école.
Eh.
Supermarché. I think
You
that's the
see?
first one I left. Supermarché.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Sasha has disappeared. Hey God. Wait,
Yeah,
and
hopefully
I think
she's
she sent me a private chat. Let me see what's going. She said, can't hear anything. Should I log out and then in again? I said, yes, you should, darling. Because Nana wants to speak to you.
Yeah, of course.
Let me let me bring Mr. H on. Mr. H. So nice to see ya. Sasha, can you hear Nana? Nana, speak to Sasha. Let's see that you
Can
can
you
hear.
hear me now, Sasha?
Yeah, it's just,
Oh no, I can see Sasha. I can hear her now, but I can't see her. Oh whoa, oh no,
told them I
But
oh
you
didn't.
saw
no,
her before.
oh
Be
oh,
grateful.
ooh la la, oh
Ooh la
no,
la. Mon Dieu.
oh
Now you
dear.
can see her. You can see her again.
Ah yeah, finally. I was saying I'm so glad to see you, Sasha. Oh no, not the network
I
again.
think the audio has disparu
Not
again.
the
Yeah,
network again.
Mr.
I think it's a
H.
network.
Uh-uh. Is this
Mm-hmm.
you? Any other is a
Hmm.
counterfeit.
Mr. I've
Eh?
offended Mr. H, but I'm
Mr.
not going to
H
say it now.
just abandoned me. Once he heard that Valentine was near, he came and did one mouth service Valentine. Then he realized that, wow, it's like this thing is not gonna work. Next thing, Mr. H just
You didn't
International
give him. You
Women's
didn't.
Day,
You
nothing.
did. You did not give him the, right atmosphere. You didn't like
Atmosphere, do I
encourage
look like a
him.
weather vane? Or I look like
Yes, you should
Superman?
be. You should be for him. You know what I'm saying?
No,
He wanted the right
that guy, you
atmosphere.
know what I'm saying? I don't know
You know
what
what I'm
you're
saying?
saying. Leave me alone. Mr. H, is this how life is? I thought that your love was eternal, but I've seen that your love, you only get
It's
turned down.
periodic.
Yeah, Mr.
Hi
H,
guys.
defend yourself.
Yeah, how you guys? How you, Abby,
Imagine I
Nana,
said defend yourself. Say,
Masha,
I
and
guys.
Rebecca?
Fine.
You guys are
Very
looking
well.
so nice. Good to see you
Thank
guys.
Ah,
you.
Be very, very careful.
likewise.
You're on
Abby,
thin
is this
ice.
too cold? Yeah? Is this too cold?
You're on thin ice, Mr. H. Be very, very
Yeah.
careful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's good to see you
Yes, I'm a
guys.
jealous girl. I don't
You
share
guys
my
are
man.
wonderful.
I
Okay.
don't share. In case you
Mm.
don't know, I don't share.
Okay.
Anyways, let's go straight to the topic because I don't want people to come in and be like, what are these people doing again? They're always talking one kind of nonsense talk when we are
So
waiting
for
to
do
hear.
now.
And people have actually reached out to me saying they are excited about the topic. So you see,
Mm.
this is why I like to do topics like this because I want topics that affect people today in today's world. We can talk about the abstract and all the whatever, but I find out that when people hear about things that is something that they are going through, they connect more, so that's why I'm like, you know what, let's do it this way. So, workspace bullying, the title is surviving workspace bullying. Now, out of the five of us here, out of the five of us, how many of us have actually experienced workplace bullying? Hands up. Only
I
two of us.
I can't say
Interesting.
really if I have or not.
No, I'm even thinking from Nigeria. I haven't experienced here, but in Nigeria for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
my mind
I've
went to
experienced
Nigeria
here.
too.
I've even experienced here, but I was thinking all the way from Nigeria. And the thing is that bullying
Okay.
can be subtle. It can
Yeah,
be overt
I
or
think.
subvert. So okay, it's two of us that have gone through, me and Laraba, for sure, that we know for sure. Say we get one winch or wizard for work. We decide that they decided that they are not going
Exactly.
to let themselves be great, not us. We will be great no matter what they try. They try to make sure that
Yes.
they not be great.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Laraba,
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I think I'm now thinking about it.
imagine after the year
I've been
Yeah,
2025,
thinking.
you
I've
yeah.
been
now they
She
thinking.
remember.
blocked it out, but it came back. She blocked it
Yeah,
out.
that
She
was
said,
it. That
yes.
was it.
So,
That was
Yes,
it.
I
Sasha,
get it. I get it. I
Sasha
get
and
it.
Mr. H, both of you say you have never experienced workplace bullying. You guys are
Lucky.
lucky. But have you seen it happen?
Yeah, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen several times. But when people talk about being bullied at work, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's sometimes it's depending on the person and people being able to speak out. Because just now I think I was just going through a Facebook post and I saw a lady posted that they poured maybe hot tea on her face at work, and that the company would not say anything, just a post.
Crazy.
But my own team, it's checkers. Checkers is just like your departmental stores, So, but the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that while I was working in Nigeria, well, I don't know, maybe it's me. Nobody can bully me. I don't even know. Maybe it's my mouth. But the thing is that I've heard it and I've seen it, and I think it depends on person per person. And some people are afraid to talk about it because they don't want to lose their job, or they fear what other people will say. I think that's why people always keep quiet about it. But I'm somebody that if you talk in a way or in a manner that I do not like, maybe at work or anywhere, I would sit with you and tell you to your face that, look, man, you don't speak to me like that, you don't talk to me like that. We need to respect ourselves. And I think it's when you talk about it that people really take you serious. People are afraid, oh, if I talk about it, they probably deport me at work, or probably talk about it at work, or I'll see as the bad person at work, or people. Some people are shy to talk about it, but my own take on the matter is that nobody should ever keep quiet to bullying in the working space. You need to talk about it. You probably need to talk about it with your superior, or you need to talk about it with your colleagues, or you need to put it in writing or document it, videoize it. When probably it's happening in the workspace, you can record this. You can record this thing secretly, or you can put yourself on record. If you're been to court, they will tell you, let us put ourselves on record. So when we put ourselves on record, either by recording it or by putting it on video record, then we will take it to the authorities, because people do that to undermine other people. People do that
Mm-hmm.
to really undermine people. If people see that you are soft in a workspace, they will do it to you. They will like do this hush hush thing to make you scared, or you could be even among colleagues, or maybe in an organization where maybe you're working in the same department, the same position, because of other people have gotten there before you. Maybe they are there before you, and maybe you're just a newcomer, and they want to use that chance to just belittle you. You do this, you do that. But sometimes when you come out from the open and tell people, like, no, you don't do things like that. Like me, I'm very vocal. I'll tell you, sit down. We don't do things like that. We talk things out.
We
And
don't do that here.
you don't do that.
Don't
Like
do that here.
like one of our shows when I was talking when I was in school. Then before we started, even the whole before the whole course started, when I got up and I told everybody, look, me, I'm an uncle. You don't come and play with me here. I'm from Nigeria. That's rule number one. And rule number two, remember rule number one. I'm Nigerian. So everybody gave me that respect. That, who is this guy? Even the class teacher. So it's sometimes you need to stamp your feet on the floor in any organization. Like, I don't take nonsense. If
That's
it
true.
happens, let us, because sometimes you will say something and people will take you out of context. So I advise people that in case you have any issues at work, you need to put it into record, so that at the end of the day, we are relating it to a third party. They will now judge from that perspective. Don't let people bully or push you around. Tell them, man, this is the 21st century. You don't do that. That's my own take on the matter, though.
Mr. H, you haven't
Yeah.
worked among young people here in the UK. You can't tell them, I'm your uncle, I'm from the. They will finish you.
Yeah.
Abby,
They
Abby,
will finish you. Do you know
Abby,
that
we
they
have
don't have home
Yeah.
training?
Abby, we have, in my class, we have a lot of people. It's not only, we have people from everywhere in the world. It's international thing, from America, everywhere. But I don't know how people talk to people. But me, when I stand up and I talk, that I'm
Uh,
serious. I'm six
Mr.
four.
Mr. H,
I'm
Laraba,
six.
should be you there UK before you go back to Nigeria. Am I lying or am I telling you the truth?
It's people
Yeah,
that you
and I
deal with.
think
These
you're
children
true.
don't have home
It's
training or
sheesh.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
nobody.
let's be crass. Let's be crass, right? I'm not really politically correct these days, so please watch out. But there is a definite racial component in this, whether we like it or not. I mean, I think that workplace bullying can affect anybody, but I think that especially if you are a black person in an all-white environment, I think that there is that component as well. But yeah, like Abby said, also it has to do with, I mean, I think that there are many different factors. I think that sometimes if you're either new then you can be a target. You know, and if you are somebody who is seen or perceived to be a soft target, then you know that can also occur. But I think that the thing that I've learned, I mean, I'm self-employed now and I love it, so I have escaped. But I think that looking back, one thing I realized is that at the end of the day, if you put your foot down, as Mr. H is saying, for better or for worse, at
In
least you can say you
secondary
tried.
school or colleges, you want to go and put your foot down, they will remove your foot and shove it back up your body.
At least you can say you tried. That's the thing. At least you can
Abby, I
Because
say
don't know how
number
you
you
guys
one,
do
tried.
you
You
know
this.
know
why
what
I'm
I mean?
saying this. Number
We
one,
have
the
one.
system does not support the teacher. The system doesn't. The system supports the
Mm.
students. That's why even in the UK today, parents are afraid of their children because the system supports the kids and not the children. Now, of course, again, it depends on how you bring up your children. But these are children that I'm in
Abby, don't
college.
do
I'm
this.
a student in college, and I've learned to just maintain my lane, JJ, and not
Abby, don't-
mingle.
Really?
I'm
That's
telling
so
Abby,
you,
that's so
because
sad.
number one, these kids have no home training at all,
Abby, don't know
none
you. Nobody can come
whatsoever.
and mess with
Then
you.
number two, the government also does all these things where they just feel that they're so entitled. They have the and every
Let them
disability
come to
they have, oh,
Nigeria. They
every
should come to
single
Nigeria.
disability that they get. And
Abby,
I'm not discrediting anybody who has disabilities, but there's dyslexia,
Exactly.
there's this,
Exactly.
there's unseen mental wanting. They're always 1
Exactly.
minute they're in
Antisocial
class, everything is
personality
okay.
disorder.
The child will just get up and just be like, I don't feel like being in class today. I just feel like I feel like shit. I think the whole class is shit. I think the teacher is shit. And everything. And just say that. And next thing the child just walk
Really?
out. I'm telling you, walk out, and
That
the
is
teacher will
mad.
be like, okay, do you want us to talk about it or do you want to go home? I want to go home. And that's the end though. Bye bye. Say go be.
That
Nothing.
UK is if that's the state of the schooling system, that people can just come up and say, I feel shit, I feel like this, and then just go home. This is why people need discipline. Ah,
But that's the thing. You are talking as if you were a part of the system.
but
It's
I've
not
been in Nigeria
happening.
for 3 years now. I've been in
But
Nigeria
you
for
were
three
part of the system.
weeks.
3 years has not done
I
enough
was
to erase what you were. It is.
it has
Sometimes I'm sitting in class. I'm like, eh. Now so it be. We might be in like we are like maybe about 11 in the class. Sometimes there will only be 3, 4, 5 of us. Why?
really.
The rest they woke up in the morning. I felt like shit. They're not coming to school. End of story. Oh.
That is just
All the
ridiculous.
teacher will just say is that, well, if you don't come, your attendance affects your grades, and this one and that one, and then
It's
you won't be able
ridiculous.
to progress to the next place. And like they care? Do they care? They don't
Exactly.
care.
It's
The
ridiculous.
government pays for them to be in school and everything. So they don't care. It
The
doesn't cost
government pays them.
anything. Well,
No,
it's
it's
either
insane.
the government or the parents. But education to a certain point is in university that education you have to be paying fees and all that unless you're going to private school. But if
Abby,
you're going to
Abby,
like public school, it's free. So
Mhm.
do
Abby,
do
you don't
I
know how to
care?
deal with
If
people
I
when
don't come
that's
to school and you want to mark me absent or you want to mark it, who cares? They're not coming.
Abby, I will share a story with you
Okay.
in the near future, not now, in the near future. I'm sure you understand what I mean. I don't
Mm.
know. Me, Nina, I know how to deal with people. You don't if you can't even just play with me. It doesn't matter who you are. I know how to deal with people. And when I'm going to share the story probably in future you understand where I'm coming from. Now I know if it's people I know how to deal with them.
No, I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying that
No,
you
it's
see
not
these
about
special
no. There's a
breeds
way.
that we
There's a way
have.
you handle people. There's a way you handle people. There's a way you handle people. Even if you are crazy, there's a way you handle people. When they see you, they know that
Unfortunately, we are having problems
mm,
with Sasha joining. She keeps joining, and I keep adding her, but then there's something
maybe it's
going on
the
with her
network.
internet, and then she comes off. Maybe Sasha will be arranging you come to my house so you can join because me I don't understand this one. No. Okay, so she's back again. I'm adding her every time she joins. I add her back, but then
Mhm.
Okay, Nana, since you
Hmm?
remembered at the 45th hour, please share with us your experience.
Okay, I remember this, and as Larva said, I think I buried it really. That's why it didn't come up immediately. It was, I think, my first real job after leaving the university. I did one or two, but it doesn't. Those ones don't count. So we started. It was a franchise. I'm not going to mention the name of the place, but it was a franchise of an international franchise thing. So we started with just five of us. Sorry, four of us were the initial staff, and nobody was appointed as anything. Just you're all the same. You all start this way, and then as we progressed, you see, when Mr. H was saying, it's vocal, it's me, I was shaking my head and laughing. I was the most vocal there. I'm the no nonsense person. You cannot tell me this. I'll give it to you hot, hot. And that is what put me in trouble. That's what got me to be bullied. And as we said at the beginning, there are different methods of bullying. Sometimes it doesn't just like shout back and that's not bullying, especially in workplaces, it's systematic. It's in the system. They bully you using the system. And that's what happened to me then. So
Yeah, they're very
as we
sneaky.
yes, so as we progressed, like, okay, who's going to be this? I was very good at marketing and um customer relations. So I was supposed to head that. Somebody else was supposed to head the finance, somebody else was supposed to head this. So it was like a gang up. Oh, this one she's so vocal, she won't see things my
Ah,
way. So let's
oh,
partner, let's join
spineless.
forces, and let her be the outsider. So I'm sitting down. I'm a believer in due process. So I'm not going to talk to the overall head straight up. Their processes. No, that was my own undoing. One call. So it's like, who are the favored ones? You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The favored ones, because um I'm the one that I'm following due process. Before the due process it never even ends up happening because things have been overturned along the way. So we went on and on and on, and then they started getting the big positions, and like, okay, they get this position, they get this position. Okay, now this next big position is open. There's only one person to give. Moi.
No, but they'll go and look for
No.
somebody outside.
Thank you. So with every new position, I was important. We sit down in the meeting, we plan structures, we plan this, we plan that, because I was working like round the clock to make the place pick up. Because so I was working, slaving and doing everything to make sure it worked. I was pregnant at a point. Every day of it didn't matter. I didn't have a car, I would enter the rain, like that. I'm that kind of person. So they were capitalizing on that. We formed the structures. Okay, now this place needs a head, that. Okay, so we know. So of course I'm waiting for the announcement to be made. And the next thing I see somebody come. And they kept doing that. And what I did not understand, I know when I talk, it's like, why are you shouting? They just turn narcissistic on me. Why are you shouting? Why are you making a big deal of it? I mean, why are you taking it down? Like, why are you not giving this position? I deserve it. Blah, 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 blah. They go like, we know you're overworked. You just had a baby. Blah, blah,
Oh
blah,
my
blah.
God.
No, but you don't get. I just had a baby, but I worked 7 days, Monday to Sunday. It didn't matter that I had a baby. I brought my baby to work from the time my baby was 2 months. I was like, if you want me to work, I can work around the clock, but my baby has to be with me, no problem. So it's okay to work Monday to Sunday with a baby, but you can't give me a higher position because I have a baby. But I didn't care. So most of the people they give these positions to end up coming to take advice from me. And it's just like, no big deal. So it came up, so at a point, the people, of course, they pass down the information. This is someone to be afraid of. This is someone you shouldn't put in the loop. So, the new people too who came up like that, but I was like, I didn't care. I was like on the one of the lowest rung of something, but it didn't matter. I was still there because I said, okay, let me see now. Sack me. So that's what you would do.
Exactly.
You have to give a reason to sack me, shit. I'm not leaving. So one time, then I had a meeting. They called me. They said, "Okay, you know what? We're going to have to put a head to this place, and we're getting someone new to head, either someone new or someone that came. And you're the most senior person here." And I like, so why is it not me? And let me tell you the truth. Management is afraid of you. I like, come again. Management is afraid of you.
Whoa.
So what?
People are funny.
I was there. I was like,
but
no.
do you know that's a form of gaslighting?
You see, I was dumbfounded.
Gaslighting.
So I'm telling you, this is systemic bullying at its best. So I was like, okay, so what's there to do now? He said, you know what? It's difficult to bring any of the people that came after you to be the head while you're still here. I'm like, so how is that my fault? Like, you'll have to resign.
You lie.
I'm telling you, you'll have to resign.
So it's like, so you have to resign.
Because anybody they want to put is below me, experience and all that. So because they can't put that person above, because the person will be afraid to be above me, I will have to resign. I don't want to go.
Did you sue these people? Did you sue these people?
No, I said, you know what? I said, you know what? I want to go. I really don't want to go. Where would I want to go? I built this place and it's getting to where I said, no, that's the thing. That's final decision. I said, you know what? I'm not going to resign, but you can sack me. That's what I told them. I'm not resigning, sack me. So they went, and they did another board meeting. They called me, and you know what? We want to part in peace because you're going to get another job. Like I said, let me explain something to you. I'm going to get any other job, but I don't need to put this in my CV. So please sack me. So at the end of the day,
give me my entitlements.
They said, no, they were going to give. There was no problem. There was no problem giving me the entitlement, but they just needed me out. Then at the end, when I sat down and thought of it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave. And the energy I brought into this business will also leave you. And that's what happened. So I gave the resignation. They said, well, Shukon, they're going to do a stand forth, blah, blah, blah. Please, let's not pretend. So I wrote this resignation and just submitted and left. So, I didn't even know that one. They say you give 1 month's notice. As soon as it was an institution. Yeah, I don't say any more than that. But the people that I brought in, when they heard I was not going to be there again, they were leaving. So many staff too. So many of the staff said if they could do this to Nana, after all she's been through. See, let me tell you, as I said, then I didn't have a car. I will carry my baby on Okada.
In
pouring rain because I can't miss work. This is Kano that people do not go out in the rain. If it's raining, they'll tell you, it's raining, I can't come out. That's how Kano people are. But I will climb bike with my baby in pouring rain just to get to work. So when I left,
people don't appreciate things like that.
No, they did not. But when I left, the business literally crumbled. Because you don't lose someone like that. Because the other staff just started resigning. They said if they could do that to me, they should also start looking for other places to go.
They didn't see the bigger picture. They were just.
And it was an IT firm. So they just went. Almost everybody left. All the good hands now left. They said no, they're not going to wait for what happened to me to happen to them. So that's how the place just dried up. And what did that happen?
In the UK?
No, it was in Nigeria, in Kano.
This year, Kano.
I'm sorry.
Femi Ikuti, thank you.
So that was it. That was the one in Kano. There was one that.
Wait, let me just say hello to Mr. Femi. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Can you hear us? Okay, I don't know what happened. But I added him and he sort of stuck. But yeah, Nana, continue.
There was the one that happened, sort of. I didn't let it fester. We're here in the US. It was a workplace, as you said, was my department. I think Abby, I told you about this then when I was working there. The department I was working has a particular race working in that department. Then they now brought people of my race to that department. So there was an immediate clash. Now, at the end of the day, there was pockets of people from other races. I was bullied, and I'll tell you why. Among the Hispanics, of course, I don't belong to I can't belong to the Hispanics. The blacks were African Americans. I don't belong there because I'm African. So they don't see me as one of them. The Muslims who wear hijab like I do were light-skinned, white Arabs, and they didn't see me as one of them. So imagine when they say everybody form a group, Hispanics, blacks, Arabs, moi. So there's something naturally to a large extent, the I don't belong to his.
Someone needs to mute themselves. They have two devices on.
Blacks were African Americans. I don't belong there.
Someone has an extra device on. Mr. Femi, that would be you.
Okay.
Nana, continue.
So my upline was one of the Arab ladies. And for one reason or the other, she just did not see me as someone she should like. One, you see, this is the inferiority thing. She's Arab. She's been there before me. She can't speak English, hardly. I speak English. I flow with everybody. I speak some Spanish, as I said, so I flow with the Hispanics, I flow with the blacks, I flow with, but she wasn't comfortable. She felt I was too there. And when they're trying to, like the bosses are making example during every morning we have meetings, they always use me as example, or they were trying to look for a word, I give the word. Because I was one of, if not the most educated person there, So she just didn't like me. So unfortunately, they put me down there below her. So like everything she tries to frustrate me, I need something, she would make sure I don't get it so that I don't finish my tasks on time and all that. So, I got to the point when I was going to scream and shout at her and tell her, you know what, I'm not taking this anymore. So that day, I think when I had enough of it, I just looked at her that day and she said something and I'm like, you are wrong. She said, what did I say? I said, you are wrong. I don't deserve that. And you are wrong. And she just kept quiet because she has never heard me. I just smiled through everything. I said that. At the end of the work day that day, I just left. Because in the first place, I wasn't even enjoying the job anyway. So you're not going to add more issues to my head.
Exactly.
So when HR called me, I'm like, what happened? Because I just walked away. I didn't resign. I just walked away and never went back. So when HR called me, I told them all of this. They were they were apologetic. They didn't know this was happening. I should have told HR. I said, no. When you did not see me for a day or two at work, HR should have called me. I said, I leave work. I'm supposed to close at 4:30. Sometimes I leave 8. Sometimes I leave any other time other than the time I'm supposed to leave. What if during one of my trips, maybe the last time you saw me, what if I had a bad accident? What if I'm hospitalized? What if something happened? The least you could do as HR is to call. Oh, we didn't see you yesterday. We didn't see you the day before. And then she was like, yes, they're very, very sorry. And they'll send me a letter to that effect. I'm like, that's how we roll. But anyway, those are the only two instances I can remember.
Should they paid you, Sha?
Oh, but of course, they gave me some extra, which I didn't even know where that one came from. I didn't even know where the extra came from, and I didn't question it.
Okay, I've got Sister Ibidu Shogodari saying, good evening, everyone. And then Greenland comes Femi also saying, greetings, everyone. So people are listening, they're watching us, and they're saying greetings. And Mr. Femi, thank you for joining us. Can you hear? Hey. Internet is just embarrassing people up and down. It doesn't matter whether you're in Nigeria, in the UK, or anywhere in the world. Internet will disgrace you if it wants to disgrace you. Hello, Mr. Femi, can you hear us? Hi, Jesus Christ. This is the UK. And yet,
Hmm.
you say internet is interneting him. Okay, Laraba, can you share your experience with us?
Well, yeah, I think that there was one specific firm that it was, first of all, the process of being hired by this firm was just haphazard. So it was actually, I mean, basically what happened was I didn't actually stay there for long. What happened was that they hired me. And it was funny because in the first couple of, days of being hired for this role, I could see that there were some weird dynamics. People weren't really expressive. People were very fearful, and so I'm new, so I didn't really notice what was going on and stuff. And like I
Hello?
said,
Can you hear me?
even though,
Yes, we can. But please mute yourself. Laraba is speaking at the moment. Thank you for
yeah.
joining us.
So, and I'm going to be very delicate, but let's just say I was the only black person. So um so things were just really, really weird. Things were just, there was a work culture that just didn't seem to fit. Everybody kind of, it seemed as if it was forced. Like when people say, oh, we're all a family here, and we all get
Hmm.
along, we're all really, really nice, we all really like each other. So that was kind of like what they were trying to put on the surface. So there were just some tasks, because this is how crazy the situation was. My job wasn't really defined at that point in time, and I didn't have a contract in place yet. But it was just me kind of just working. So like I said, I knew that there was a strict hierarchy in that the boss was the boss, and there was no respect. That was something that I also noticed. So what happened now was there was, because it was a mother-daughter, basically it was run by a mother and daughter. And so what happened was that I was supposed to have signed the contract. So but there was one specific day, there was just, because basically the nature of the role was that I was being given tasks basically to carry out. So I'm the sort of person that I'm very communicative. And I don't shy away from communicating certain things, but I consider myself a very polite person. So she said, I asked you to do this, this, and this. So I said, actually, I think you asked me to do X, Y, Z. So she just went silent and she didn't say anything. So the next day was the day that I was supposed to sign the contract. So I now came in. Just, it was a normal day. This is how crazy it was. So I thought it was crazy. So I now came in and I said, okay, is it now time for me to sign the contract? So she said, yeah. This is the daughter. So she said, yeah.
Laraba, get
So
to the thing.
yeah, okay, because it's cataclysmic. So basically, what happened was that I went into the office. They now said, listen, we're going to have to fire you. So I said, what? We're going to have to let you go. So I said, why? So she was like, you were disruptive and you weren't a team player. I said, what? Point out an example. She's like, I can't think of an example right now. Meanwhile, the other, because there were like maybe say 5 people. They knew that they all knew I was going to be fired, and they all left the room. So I was thinking, huh? Really? So it turned out, because I was so appalled at how I was treated. I was so appalled. So I wrote a review. These people came and were threatening me, saying, I'm going to sue you. They even wrote their own review about how bad of an employer I was. Then it turned out that there were like 5 people because of my review that I wrote. They had their own story. So the thing is that it's an epidemic. I think that the thing is that, first of all, if you're somebody who's considered to be a threat, then they will go after you. If you're somebody that they consider to be, because they'll say, what tends to happen is, it's like, oh, would you like a cup of tea? Oh, you're really nice. Oh, everything. And then they'll just drop that you're fired. And you're like, what? And I think that this is the case of most Black people. And I think the thing is that it's the way that looking back now, there were so many red flags that I saw. But I think that the thing is that to potentially prevent workplace bullying, it's always about identifying those red flags. Yes, I'm sorry I took my time, but it was just cataclysmic. So I just wanted you to understand everything. It's an epidemic.
I think because you're in Nigeria and you're self-employed, you think it's a particularly white on black situation. Trust me, Laraba. If you worked in Nigeria, you will know that the bullying that
Maybe.
they're doing in the UK is small beans.
That may be
You
true,
haven't
actually,
seen,
because I've seen
you
the
haven't
way
seen
people
where
communicate
a
in
colleague
Nigeria.
will bring juju to the office because of you and put it in your office or put it on your
Wow.
table. That's
It's just lack
no,
of
you're not
respect.
making me
That's
because
it.
of you. I'm not able to move forward. Therefore, you will not enjoy this office. They will bring juju to the office, voodoo to the
It's
office
lack
for
of.
you,
Can you
or
imagine?
you will just see someone will just tell you, someone who is your subordinate, to lock up your office, and you can't find the key, and you will have to sit outside in your car to do your job. Because some people are like, that one, who
Can
does
you
she think
imagine?
she is? We will frustrate her. So it is not a white to black thing. It is
Yeah, that was my
it
experience.
is
Yeah.
a small bully to a grown bully. Because these people who bully as adults were bullies when they were children.
Oh, those children. Yeah.
So they
True.
just continue. So, but we'll go back to that
That's
because
true.
I've been doing some research and I have some information. Mr. Femi, hey, internet has internet him again. Chai, God. Internet. Hello, Mr. Femi. The internet is not doing us well today.
He's gone.
Anyways, I'm gonna. I'll be very. I'll try to be very brief. Me, I've been bullied from
Can you hear
Nigeria
me?
to the UK. Mr. Femi, welcome.
Hello?
Thank you for joining. Yes, we can hear you. Please join into the conversation. Do you want to share your experience, please? Hey, internet. Why? I mean, I got some messages from people who said they're very interested in the topic. I do not know whether they're actually watching at the moment. Um, I'm going to try and see if they are, or if there's anything. Some people have sent in their excuses, but a lot of people are saying, oh, yes. Sasha said, my apologies, rubbish phone kept on getting cut off. So I'm watching via YouTube. So Sasha is watching. She's no longer part of the conversation. But yes, please, Sasha, you're very much, very much in our minds here. And people are watching. People are sending messages saying that they're watching. Um, Let me try and add Mr. Femi again. I don't know what happened to Nana. Yes, we can hear you, but I don't know what happened to
Hello,
Nana.
can you hear
Nana has
me?
disappeared. Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Femi. We can hear him,
We
and
can't
then we
hear
don't
him.
hear him. Okay,
We
Mr.
can hear
Femi.
him and then not
Listen
hear
to
him.
you all,
Yeah.
Mr. H. Yeah, hello, Lara. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello?
Hello.
Your vocal is working. Your video isn't,
Yeah,
but we will take the vocal. Please continue.
I can hear you.
Yes, please continue, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Is a topic that need to be dealt with and then also extensively. Yeah, because every one of us, one or at a point in time, we have we've witnessed or we've been bullied, maybe school, at working place. But yeah, we know that bullying is an aggressive behavior that involves imbalance of power, or bullying where people repeatedly box and knife. Well, we know, but mine, I think I have two I have two stories to tell about bullying. One is when I was working in McDonald's as a manager, as a customer service manager, and then the franchise was taken over by a guy from what's this country? Bangladesh guy who does not like blacks. So the guy makes sure that I was boxed to a corner, and then because I just don't want to fight back, I just resigned, left. But when I returned back to that same franchise a while ago, I realized that most blacks have been elected, promoted, and they are doing well because at is thin down follow. But where presently the bullying is a different tone, and I think if I want to be bullied by the as one say, it has to be a systemic institutions see me as threat. No, the ones that bully me are the people that look like me. One of them from Nigeria, one of them that look like me. Let me put it that way. And they are different departments, and have made themselves oligarch. Oligarch in the sense that they know themselves, they steal things, so they use the fraud committed by others to hound them and usurp authority over them. So there's nothing they do to you can't report. Here am I came in, I saw things, I challenge this, let's do da. And then before you know, they come back at me. So what happened is, I now laugh that I know, okay. So I began to investigate that. What's going on? Why will this lady be holding down married men, people who are hold them down when she's around, they can't talk. When she's away, they start chatting and then laughing out. To me, it's like this. I can't put up with this. So he will shut you down and then talk to you. You can't even greet. To me, it's like. So at the beginning, I will laugh it off. I will speak to her. I said, "Why are you being aggressive?" I began to just treat her as my sister, and then try to maybe she had problem. I can help her out. I will laugh it off. I will try. Okay, I'm sorry. I will blame of what I don't do just to why she's behaving that way. 2 years. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Hello?
We can hear
Can you
you.
still
We can hear you. Yes,
hear me?
yes.
Okay, so that behavior continues for 2 years, and then late last year, okay, I think mid last year, and that's enough is enough. So I was asking for who's in charge of this discipline. Hello, who's in charge? No, I didn't say who's in charge. I say hello, can you please help me with da. No, I'm not in charge. No, okay.
Uh-oh. The internet has taken him off. Well, wait for him to come back. Okay, because I'm being well aware of the time, so I just know, look, this is the thing. I found out in my experience with bullying, if you are very eager to do something like the job, you want to get the job done, you are opening yourself up to bullying, because there are people who just want to come and do the job for that day and go home. You now bring your overeager ass to the to the office. They'll be like, "What did they worry this one? I beg." you know.
Eager
If you
beaver.
if you
Or
know
if you're too
more,
eager to please.
yeah, you're eager. That is overeager covers everything. If you are too eager,
That's the
Mr.
thing.
Femi,
He's
hello,
back.
Yeah,
hello.
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes. So if you can quickly round
Can you
off
hear me?
the story, please. Thank you.
Yeah, what I'm
Hello.
trying to say is that bully at
Uh-huh.
times might not be from the superior. Bullying may
Maybe
not be
people
from
are
the
at the
superior
same level as you.
officer. It might be colleague. It might be someone that saw your potential of Hello.
Yes, we're listening. We can hear
Hello.
you. We can hear you, Mr. Femi.
I said bullying at times might not be from senior colleague. It might not be
Yes.
institutional in some areas. It might be from your colleagues that see you as this guy will not allow us to play smart. This guy will not allow us to steal. This guy will not allow us to be lazy and so on and so forth. So it's now left for us on how to deal with that's it. And I at the sports, and then now it's like, oh, when I'm not at work, they're happy. When I'm at work, it's like, so why will you come to work and earn your 2, 3, 4, 5,000 pounds? You want to be lazy. So from my own end, it's like I brought a different dimension. Mine
Okay. I don't know what's going on with the internet. The internet is not friendly, so we'll just continue where we are, and then if Mr. Femi can join us, we'll take you from there. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, so in my research, found out that number one, the people who bully as adults at workplace, they usually were bullies when they were younger, and there's something
Absolutely.
lacking inside of them. But then there's also, because this is the thing I've learned, when there's a situation going on, instead of automatically blaming the people around me and going, they are the critical, I did this, I did that. I always like to sit down and ask myself questions. That is there something I'm doing? It seems like NEPA has struck where Laraba is, because lights just
It
went.
has. It
Uh-huh.
has. Yeah.
So I always ask myself, is there something I'm
I think
doing
it's
that
cute.
brought about this behavior? Is there something that is happening with me to trigger people reacting to me this way? And in the little way that I was able to observe things, if you're over eager, you're like, this is a job, and of course, most of the time when you come into a new job, you are excited, you want to start, especially if it's a job you really like, you are already thinking of the possibilities. And then you'll find some people that they're like, wow, we only came here to do our 9 to 5, do the bare minimum, collect our salary and go. Which one is this your overeager ass that's come to work? Please maintain decorum, or we will maintain it for you. So they will start to like torture you in little tiny ways to put you
Yeah.
in your place, because they feel
Because
that
they
you're
feel
overstepping your
intimidated.
bounds. Then there's also the colleagues that, or even the boss that maybe better. Like when I came to the UK, I learned very quickly to not mention that I have a master's. To mention because most of the people who are my boss, because again, the way the system works in the UK, you don't have to go to school to become a manager, to become a boss. You can work your way up into managerial whatever. So you can maybe only have school leaving certificates, or you might not even finish school, you might not even finish secondary school, but because you've been at a place 20 years, you are now the top manager. Then one young upstart that went to university, even did masters, now comes into your company. And when you have these experiences, sometimes you like know a bit more about how to do something, or you're looking at things in a different way to increase productivity. And hardly is the manager who will be like, oh, welcome, bringing fresh ideas. They'll be like, who are you? I've been here 20 years doing it and everything's working. Then you now get with your small yash, you now want to come and be telling us how you want to run things here because you did masters. They will frustrate you and your
Exactly.
masters out of that place. They will kick your ass out. Like, sure, you will be frustrated because it came to a point
Exactly.
in my situation. Two of my bosses they didn't leave school. And here I was with my master's, and I didn't even say I had a master's. I said I had a bachelor's. But because of the way I was doing the job, they now went to open my file. They went and requested my file. I got information that my file was requested by my bosses because they wanted to see what kind of education I had. And they saw that I had master's. So they now called me into the office. Do you have a master's? I was like, what do you mean? Why are you asking? He said, because we saw that you have a master's. I was like, oh, Where did you see it? Oh, don't worry about that. You have a master's. I was like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. I was like, okay, hey. So they did me to the point I was borrowing money to go to work. They cut my hours to the point that I didn't have enough money by the time they paid me my salary to come to work. Like, you are going to leave this job whether you want to or not. I now had an accident at work, a really bad accident that the ambulance had to come and pick me. And that evening, I don't even think they had admitted me in hospital when they drafted my termination letter. Saying, oh, because you're weak, you're fragile, and we just feel very responsible. Nepa has done Laraba, and we feel very responsible about you. So we feel that it's best, that you we part ways. And you know so what do you do with that? Because they also know the right language to write, so that it's now difficult for you to say, I was kicked out or something. The only reason why I could claim that I was kicked out was someone signed the letter, that they received it, that I received the letter, but I was in hospital. I was still in hospital, under admission. People are just, it's NEPA, it's NEPA that's I don't know, internet or whatever that is taking, because someone is asking, say, where is everybody? Everybody's just disappearing. So it's just me and Mr. H. So, anyways, I'm going to read what I've read up here about bullies, even though Mr. H is like, say so. When we think of bullies, we tend to remember the ones we knew at school. Unfortunately, bullying doesn't stop there for everyone. For some, the bullying continues into adult life. And then the workplace bully deliberately manipulates, belittles, intimidates, and tries to control or undermine their victim using any means available to them. In this digital age, the workplace bullies playground has now extended to cyberbullying with the use of email, mobile phones, and social media sites like Twitter and Facebook. So even when your work day closes at 5, and your boss is sending you messages by 7 o'clock saying, oh, I need you to look at this and send me an answer. I need you to do this and send me an answer. That's bullying, because your work day has finished. Your work day is done. You shouldn't be getting anything from your boss. But when they're using your own phone to harass you, then you need to find a way to be like, I've finished my work. When I get back into the office at 9, I will address everything that you are sending to me. But right now, this is my life time. This is not my work time. You have to find that way. And of course, bullying results to stress and all of that. So, then they say, okay, how do you notice that you're being, how do you tell that you're being bullied? Said, not all bullying is physical. Bullying can take many forms, and sometimes it's difficult to prove you're being harassed or threatened at work. That's true, because if the person is using the system, then it's hard to prove it. So when the bullying has been consistent and subtle over a sustained period, you might start to doubt your own sanity or convince yourself that it's okay. So you need to ask yourself the following questions to know if you are being bullied. Do I feel intimidated or threatened at work? Am I regularly humiliated or ridiculed in front of my colleagues? Have I been called names? Are my efforts consistently undervalued or disregarded? Do I feel sick or nauseous when working with a particular colleague or manager? Then, if the answer to these questions is yes, there's a good possibility you're being bullied at work, which of course is going to create stress and anxiety and make people leave work and all of that. Now, and one of the most distressing parts of being bullied is the feeling that no one seems to care and there's nowhere to go for help, especially when you go to HR and HR tell you, oh, we are frightened of the person that you are reporting to us, so try and go and make peace. I mean, HR is supposed to help you resolve things, not tell you that they are frightened, but you won't know how many cases of HR tells a person, we are frightened, so go and find a way to make peace with the person. That happens when someone has made themselves into a god at work. Then that is a problem. So there are ways you can deal with it. You can quit your job, but then how many jobs are there out there that you want to be quitting? Then again, there's also the fear of reporting bullying, because sometimes when you report a bully, the bullying intensifies, because again, the ineffectiveness of the process or the system. um People then take time off work because they don't want to go to work anymore, because they're just tired of being bullied and they don't feel good about being at work. um and then of course, if the bully is a friend of the manager, then how do you, or the person that you're going to go and report to, how do you deal with that? So these are things that looking at, just trying to look at other ways. So now this is what I learned in my experience. Evidence. Try as much as possible Try as much as possible to document everything. I learned very quickly that if I'm talking to my managers, the two who were bullying me, to never talk to them face to face, always send an email. And if they call me into their office and they come and say this and that and that and that, as soon as I get to my table, the first thing I do is I send an email to them saying, "Oh, with regards to what we just discussed 5 minutes ago, you said this, and I said that, and said this, and said that." Because once it is written and they can reply and say, "Yes, this is what we said," it is difficult to deny. That's where you can start picking out, I was bullied. Now, it does not automatically mean that you will be safe, because again, depending on the HR, because one thing unfortunately I found out with a lot of HR in the UK, they are not created to support staff. They are created to support the organization and the managers that they employ. So when staff goes to go and report a manager, what HR automatically starts to do is, "Oh, are you sure you didn't misunderstand? Are you sure that that's what you saw or that's what you heard? Are you sure that it's not a case that you are being too sensitive?" So it's now all back on you who has gone to report. It's not really, and they will make the whole show of getting you an advocate and all that stuff, but it is not really to your benefit at all. Hey, it seems like NEPA has brought back Laraba. Yay!
I think I'm back for
Hallelujah.
now.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
God
your
is
we
good.
can hear your generator. Okay now.
Ah,
So it's
yeah.
important. So I'm just talking about things to do because I'm being aware of time. So it's important to get evidence, collect as much evidence as possible, because you might have to go to tribunal depending on how bad it is. And when you go and say, "And I said, and he said, then she said, and they said, and we said," that is reported speech. Nobody is going to listen to
Exactly.
that. But when you have it written, either
Receipts.
text
Yes.
or email, you have proof. So anywhere you are in the world and you feel you're being bullied, make sure you get everything in writing. If
Exactly.
you can't get the email and the person calls you, because some managers are very smart, they will call you into their office to talk to you and lambast you, so that they don't want, once you get back to your table, you go back and say, "Well, thank you very much for calling me to your office. And while I take exception to you using this language and calling me this, that. So everything that you take exception to, you write it down. I do understand that maybe you want me to be productive in it, and I've explained to you the reason why I'm struggling, or that, being spoken to the way you spoke to me today was not going to be beneficial to me and everything." So you write everything down and you send it to the person. And when such letters come to them, they can't ignore it. They have to find a way to answer it. And then they might now go, "Oh, you misunderstood what I was saying." But at least
Try to
it is
gaslight
there
you.
that you said it. So it is there. So then the other thing, like Mr. H said, you have to find a way to stand your ground. You have to find a way to actually be your own person and be like, "You know what?" And the fastest way to do this from day one, the monument, anything that looks like disrespect or bullying is coming your way, Don't even wait to confirm whether it's bullying. Just put your face and be like, we don't do that here. So everybody will just know, even the boss that is bullying everybody will know that this one, oh, I have to find a special way to bully this one. I can't bully this one generally the same way. Because if I say something to this one will speak back and not
Yeah.
tolerate it. So you have to find a way to, stand your ground and be like, so if someone comes and say, hey, and snap say, hey, bring that paper, you just sit down there quietly and just continue what you're doing. Hey, can't you hear I'm talking to you? Be like, and then force
Dennis Gregory Foundation Heights
and then force the person to actually walk up to you and be like, hey, can't you hear what I'm speaking? I was like, oh, were you speaking to me? People don't snap at me. I'm not a dog. I mean, my name is Abby, so you can use it. You see, they will They will never snap at you again. Never. Because number one, they'll be shocked. Like, whoa, did you you were snapping, and I'm not a dog. I don't respond to being snapped at. So I didn't know you were talking to
Yeah.
me. I have a name. You're my manager. You should know it. My name is Abby. So why didn't you use it? So they might be like, imagine she embarrassing. I'm going to, they might look for a different way to try and bully you. But you see, that one that they tried initially, they will not try it again. Because they know that, okay, this one, no, it gets more scoring, you don't go accept the. But if you two, you look up, you're like, ahead, then they will continue. So from day one, once obvious disrespect comes, refuse it. Don't accept it. Just be like, but be polite about it. Don't be rude or anything. Just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were speaking to me. Because I just I wasn't sure whether I was hearing snapping, but I that only applies to dogs. So I didn't, just do it in a very sweet but firm way. Don't do that. You don't do that here. So that's one thing. And so I keep a diary of events. My diaries also helped to a certain extent, not much, but to a certain extent. But it's important. Keep diaries. I know a lot of men think diaries belong to women and women only. Okay, keep a work diary. At least you can't claim that a work diary is only a
Yes.
woman's
Keep
own.
a journal.
Keep a
Journal.
yeah, becoming too much. Which one is journal? Keep diary. Men will not follow you and keep journal.
That's what men. Yeah, I think
Then try and get a witness. Try and get an ally in the office. Someone who can stand up. Because if you get allies who are like, yes, we can see it. Oh yeah, let us go. I want to go and report. Come and stand. No, because that happened to me. A lot of my colleagues were like, oh, we can see what's going on. This is not fair, Abby. It's so unfair. Blah 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 blah. And now, because everybody was supporting me and saying it's unfair, me too, I now went to go and report. Oh yeah, we had to have meeting. Oh yeah, the people that were saying unfair, everybody took off. I'm like, Abby, I love you, but I'm sorry, I can't come. Some people purposely didn't even come to work that day. Like, they told you, I don't worry, I'll be there. On the day I'm not looking, where they didn't show up to work. So be careful of the allies you get. Don't go and get allies that will push you to do something and then they'll disappear. Make sure you get an ally. Thankfully, I had an ally, Nancy. I don't know. Nancy, if ever you're hearing this, I really, really, Nancy Wilson, I really appreciate you because she sat with me, sent emails, went with me to, like she stood with me that yes, this, and she was an ally in the office. So make sure you get a right ally. Don't just go and carry anybody who is supporting you, shouting, yes, I'm behind you. You enter gallo by yourself. So don't do that. And then and also just try and build social what do they call social capital. Build a group where you are nice. When you go to people, when you get them to do something, oh, thank you, really appreciate that. A small card, a small build that social capital, so that when something happens at work, people will be like, no, not that person. It can't be that person. Oh, if the person say, she's rude, she's like rude. Somebody that any small thing she's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Build that capital so that when that bully comes up and tries to use some crazy things against you, people will be able to actually stand up and say, no, not this person. We don't. They might not say it to your face. They might just quietly say something to HR and go, not that person, because we and when HR is getting 10, 20 people saying no, it can't be this person, then they have no choice but to say, okay, maybe there really is a problem somewhere else other than this person. So, and then of course, if it comes down to it, you might have to actually sue. But nobody wants to get to that place because we don't go to court and come back as friends. You will still have to leave the job if you take them to court, because you can't take a company to court and then still come back and be working for them. It's impossible. So, that's usually a last resort. But if you are done and you're like, you know what, it have do, then by all means take it as far as you want to. So I mean, I think we will talk about this again next week, because I think this topic is bigger than what we've discussed today. And please, anyone who wants to think more, but let's keep our stories concise. So those are the points that I was able to research and share. But let's go to the comments. Laraba, can you see the comments? Or no, Mr. H.
No.
Okay, Mr. H, can you see the comments? Can you read out the comments for us, please?
Which one?
Start from where Sister Ibidu Shogodari said, "Where is everyone now?" So I'll be highlighting them and then you read them out, okay?
Okay. You're going to Dr. Sinuso now.
No, I'm going one after the other. Mr. Dr. Seno, go on.
Okay, he said listening mode. For now, we have done this before. As said, HR and managers are nobody's friend. That's what
There you go.
Sinu said. Yeah, and he said evidence and an employment lawyer for a small amount of money. Their advice is often invaluable as they must not have experience of similar cases in your firm or more. That's
Now,
what.
Mr. H, wait. Hey! I want to faint. I am seeing somebody. A
What are
certain
you
bear.
fainting for?
There's a certain bear in the house.
A,
What are you
a town
Hey!
fainting
hall.
for, Abby?
A town hall.
I did not even see you immediately. As soon as I saw, I was like, God Almighty, am I seeing
What
you properly?
what are you fainting for?
I'm seeing a certain baby. Laraba, you see this baby? This baby has almost put me in trouble, because the first day I saw, I was like, this is where I want to faint.
Really?
This is where I'm
Hey,
ready to die. Only to
what are
realize
you
that he has wife.
what are you fainting for?
Ifeanyi, is this you?
Emil, half and
Welcome.
half.
Okay, we are coming
How are
to your
you?
point. Let Mr. H read one more comment, please,
No
and
no
then we
wahala.
want you to tell us. Oh, yeah, yeah, Mr. H, read this one comment, this last one here.
Okay, Dr. Sini said HR and never get to support staff. That is the job of unions. Yes,
There you go. I'm so glad that Dr. Senu said that, because many people were, let's go, we go and report to HR. HR is not there for you. They are there for the company and the managers. They are not there
Exactly.
for you. If you go to
Yeah.
HR,
They're just
most
yeah.
likely, before you see HR support you, mm-mm. Just, and that's why it's important. If you go to a workplace where they say we don't have unions, go and join an outside union. There are labor unions that are not tied to your company. Join them, because they'll be able to help. Oh yeah, Ifeanyi, tell us your experience.
Anyway, I've been to be honest, I've been trying to find a
I
day
can't
to
hear you
join.
properly.
Hold on, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
I said, to be honest, I've been trying to find a day to join in any of the days, but no verse, no verse. Work has been interesting. I pretty much just removed shirt. So I mean, be say I don't see anything. I see Mr. H and all of you. So sorry about that.
Now it's all
So
right.
workplace bullying. One of the few things I've heard what you guys are saying, and you guys are spot on it. But one of the few things I will add is bullies always tend to look for weaknesses. So and in most workplaces, once you resume, there's always they will try and feel you out. There are different ways to try and feel you out. They try to ask you what do you think about certain things, what do you think about certain people, what do you think about certain situations. So we start to feel you out. But what I wanted to add was one of the first things that is a defense against bullying is once you get to a workplace, new or old, set your standard.
Mm.
Once you set your standard, there are certain things that people will not bring to your table. Once they know that you do certain things at certain times or certain ways, and you don't have to throw the book at them for them to know that, okay, hey, this guy does this thing this way, is by the book. What that does is, once you start setting that standard, everybody starts to know. So when somebody says no, he came and said this, you say no, it's not possible. I say why? Because you set the standard and the track record, and that sets boundaries already. Once you set boundaries, there are certain things you no longer get involved with. There's certain things they no longer bring to you. What that does for anybody, that it stops them from even trying to think about bullying. And also, if they ever come at it, they realize they're dealing with the wrong person. Two is, like you said, you might say keep a diary, but I like to do the inverse of it. Once I start to see you're heading that direction, whatever conversation we have, I'm following up with an email. Let's keep it up. So if you tell me that, hey, go do this thing, I'll reply you as earlier discussed. You say
Yeah.
I should do this and this. Usually, I find that people that are involved in workplace bullying, they tend to prefer phone calls to
Yes.
emails. So once there's that paper, no, let's have a paper trail. And three is don't go and lose your peace of mind. A lot of people let their work stress affect their life stress and then forget that work is not life. It's different. Don't 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 think that the bully stays up all night trying to see how he'll make you mad. You self don't stay up all night trying to see how you stay mad. Go to bed. Take out the stress. Leave that environment where it is and then go. And then as soon as you notice it, please start your exit plan.
Mm.
The biggest thing I also found in dealing with people that have control issues is once you move, they lose the illusion of control, and then it shocks them. And then they can find another victim. But however, like I said, set your standards, create a paper trail, be sure to have your own exit plan, and leave that stress at work. Don't take it home. That's probably all I have to say.
Thank you very much. You really hit it on you really hit it on the head with the things that I was reading, as the help aids for anyone who's going through bullying. And it's true. Once you set a standard, they know the time you're coming in. My work starts at 9. I'm already there 15 minutes to 9. I'm setting up, everything. It's not yet 9. Don't talk to me. 9 ò tí lù. 9, I'm at my desk ready to work. 5, like this, eh? If 10 minutes past 5 jam me for that office, I mean say maybe my leg break. Because 5 like this, pata pata 5 past 5, I'm out. And there's some managers, it is when that 5 knack, that's when they'll not come. Hey, so and so, I have it. So where and me, I learned very quickly to go. It's end of day. I'll deal with it tomorrow. You can't tell me, oh, you can't go. No, it's end of day. I am going to my house. I'm not doing any extra work, and that's that. So they know.
It's setting boundaries. Yeah.
If you don't catch me by 4:30, anything that 5 o'clock meet, now there it go end. And also, a lot of people who want to do over sabi, your boss will be sending you message. When I see people working during their holidays or they are working past their work hour, I'm like, what are you trying to prove?
Exactly.
Because a family member was telling me about a guy who works in an insurance company. This guy was the first to arrive, last to go. Insurance company where they pay out when people die. This guy had died 3 months before his colleagues knew that he was dead.
Can you
Three
imagine?
months. It was when his wife came to the office to come and start discussing collecting his gratuity. That's when they're like, eh? Mr. So and so is dead.
Wow. That's
You
yeah.
go and carry someone else's work and put it on your head like gala.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's partly,
Nothing for you.
I think it's partly
Nothing
because
for
we,
you.
it's partly because we confuse productivity and efficiency with always being there, or always showing up, or always. And when we
Exactly.
think in as much as yes, it plays a role in you getting promoted, but that's not all. So it's for some reason we allow it cross that balance. That's why these things happen. That's why you get into those environments. Like you send me an email at 10 at night. I am not going to reply you to tomorrow morning. There's a pause. There's a reason why there's a pause. However, even if the thing is going to disrupt operations at 7 in the morning, that means you should have known before 7 in the morning. But that's not my business, so far as I'm concerned. So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
So
listening.
far
We're
as I'm
listening.
concerned, those are the things that. That's why I say you set the boundary. There's just some things that we tend to we do it a lot. We're black people. We do it a lot. We tend to confuse how do you call it hard work with efficiency, or you must. So you take the
Yeah,
extra work, you take the
exactly.
extra time, you take the extra. Oh, I can do it. You put up your
That's
hands
a
for a lot of
mistake.
things. It's good in most it's but at some point just draw the line, because if not, it's the one that is willing and keeps giving that will keep giving the work. There's no two ways. If
And
I
your
bring it,
and
Exactly.
once your family starts to
Yeah.
suffer, hi.
everything goes down. And like you said, what I find sometimes is people in the workplace might not even know that it's bullying. They might just think this guy is always available. Let's just give him. He's always a team player, and then, but before you know it, you're the one feeling sad. You're the one creating the environment in which you feel overworked. You can't talk about
Exactly.
it because you think you're showing up. So half the time, in as much as yes, I agree there are workplace bullies, people that just want to forgive my Spanish, people who just want to get in behind your back and keep kicking you. However, also, like I said, until if you don't establish the standards, the boundaries, and where you meet me or where you don't meet me, people will never, they want to take advantage of it. So they tend to get behind that and keep doing. But it's important more than anything. Leave work at work, go home and home. We have parents that didn't do that. So immediately they
Yeah,
left
that's
work,
true.
aged quickly, they aged rapidly because there was nothing.
Uh,
But leave work at
my
work. Leave
life.
stress at work. That way, if there's somebody, even if there's somebody that's bullying you at work, he doesn't get home. Once he doesn't get home, there's no need.
Very,
It
very
frustrates
true.
more. Again, we are also afraid. I also find that sometimes why people don't speak up sometimes is you're also afraid because you're dealing with life in general. You have bills to pay, so you're trying to stay with the next with the with the job long enough, as long as I can keep paying my bills. The problem with that is you start to develop coping mechanisms. For instance, you start to know, okay, he comes to work at 9. Maybe if I come in at 8:30, for 30 minutes I can have peace and finish all my work. By the time it comes to 9, my life can be a hellhole. But the problem is you now develop anxiety to even go to work. And at the end of the whole day, you might end up sick and end up losing the same job you were afraid of. It
Exactly.
becomes
Exactly.
important that, hey, once leave that stress away from your life. It's just one part of the whole circle of your life. Then move on with it. And as long as the person is speak up, you can never tell. If you don't save your own life, you save somebody else's life.
Exactly. Because when people see that this one Kogboregbe, this one does what like he does what he wants to do and he gets away and his life is looking and he's looking fresh. He comes into the office, he's smiling. I remember one time when one of my managers called me and gave me query for singing that I'm too happy. That when I'm doing my
Can
work,
you
I'm
imagine?
always singing. That what am I happy about? I was like, sure. I'm keeping myself company. I was turned away from like we're put in a bank. Everybody sits facing each other. I was the only one who was put in a seat where my back was turned to the team. So I wasn't hearing anything that was going on in the team. All of a sudden, I'll hear all of them laughing. I'll be like, "What is it? What happened? What happened?" And I was cut off from the team. So I
Mm-hmm.
got tired of asking what happened, what was the joke? Because jokes when you can't repeat jokes now, they're no
Mm-hmm.
longer
Mm-hmm.
funny. And things like so
Yeah, the
I just
language.
said that instead of me asking what happened, I'll be singing with myself and keeping myself company. Now so I was called into the office and giving query. Why are you singing? What are you happy about? And like even my personal happiness was a problem.
Yeah. You know,
Like,
if I could
wow.
add something, if I could add something,
Yeah, yeah, go
because I've
on.
been listening, I think that the
Nana,
thing that
where are
I would
you? I can see you, but
advise,
you're not here.
the thing that I would advise
I'm
people
here.
within the work environment is to not be too eager to please.
Oh yes.
I think that's the thing. Don't be too eager to please, because in my own experience, the woman who I was working for pointed that out to me, and it was her that was the one that made my life hell. And I think that that's part and parcel. It's as Ifeanyi said, it is a black person thing. That's the thing. We're trained like dogs. We're trained like dogs. Oh, you should be very grateful for this job. Oh, you should be very, very grateful. Oh, you should be very, very grateful. Oh. So I think that that's it. And I think that if people can see, it's just human nature. If people see that you're not eager to please, and also you are there for a reason. They hired you for a reason. So if you always have that at the back of your mind, and also indicate that, listen, if I'm the person for the job, you'll keep me. If you don't think that I am the person for the job, you can find me at any time, so long as you pay my money. Usually, that is kind of like a level in which you have some control and some leverage if you know your worth, if you know what you're capable of bringing to the company. But the thing is that people are so desperate to hold on to a job, and that they
Because
are
they're
so
not
desperate.
plentiful out there, especially in places like
Yes,
Nigeria. They're not
yes, yes.
plentiful. So when
I
you now
understand
get the
that.
one job, even when you
Absolutely.
go home and you
But then
tell
that's
your,
when
your
you can get
mother,
manipulated.
this person is making my life
But
miserable. Oh."
I wrote something in response to that. I don't know if you heard the story. You realize that a crab put in slow boiling water does not realize it's being burnt to death
At
until the
all, you
water
just
boils.
balance there.
So you see, that's the thing.
Exactly.
If you're thinking that, hey, I'm holding on to this because the job is not plenty out there, I will keep
Yes.
dying emotionally,
Mm.
mentally, physically, until finally, after all, you will still get
And
fired.
it's not worth it.
So it's no longer worth it. There
Exactly.
has to be that balance.
That's
That's
what
why you
me
want
serve
the
me
moment you
coffee.
start to feel uncomfortable at your job. I think that's the time to start immediately dust off your CV and send it out. Now, someone told me about something they did. They were working for a small business. And there was this manager that they had at that business. It wasn't the chairman, it wasn't the owner of the company, it was just a manager they got. And the manager just made it his life mission that I'm going to terrorize everybody in this office because it's my father that owned it. Not It's not his father, but it was behaving as if it was his father that owned the company, like really terrorizing everybody. And they all use, like, because it's a small office, they all use like a private bank of or the computer system, the scanning system and everything. And this guy, very intelligent, the boss was the one who actually employed him, and he was doing things until this manager started to micromanage him, and then he wasn't being productive. Guy just went on the internet, dusted the CV, everything, sent it to the central whatever. And he timed it so well that the CEO, the Oga Patakata, was coming to use the and that one just saw CV. He just called him to his office, said, come. I saw something. You sent your CV, say, oh, I didn't intend for you to see that. Of course, he intended for him to see it. He's like, I didn't intend for you to see it. Say, I suspected. Well, why? Why? You just because this your manager, he keeps micromanaging me and everything, and he now went, he said, so that it doesn't look like I'm lying, he brought out all the evidence and all that. ah Oga just called the Oga manager, Mr. Man. He's like, I feel like this job is becoming a bit stressful for you. The manager was like, no, I'm good. He said, no, I think I'm becoming a bit stressed. I'm becoming a bit stressed because I'm getting reports. Sent the manager home for 2 months. Like, go and sit down and think about your life. And it was like, please don't go, just stay. Before that manager came back, they had restructured things in a way that when he came back like this, like first holiday, when he came back, his mouth did not hold ground again. The system had changed everything. So sometimes, you can be, if you have the opportunity, you can be sneaky and get one over your bully, or just start looking for a way to go. But it's very important to
The
have
other
that
thing I
balance.
wanted to, sorry, the other thing I
Yeah,
wanted
go
to
on, go
add
on,
was
go
it's
on.
also important that, like we're discussing surviving workplace bullying, that we should also know that if we have gone through it, we should not also carry it forward. I
Oh
always
yes.
I always tend to tell people, especially any of my friends that get promoted, I'll tell you that one of the first things I say is do not become that which is so loathsome. It's very important. It's important that if you had managers you did not like, when you become a manager, don't become that manager that people did not like. But how do you do that? How do you counter providing that environment for workplace bullying? We all sing it and loud and shout it aloud. Equity and fairness. It's simple. It's
Yes.
it's it's again the things I don't want cost for your shoe, Abby. I know what, because that's the way there are
Oh, they
people that
cannot curse you.
there are
Who they
people that
born?
no, not the call out. The people we call EOAs. As a manager, being it is very interesting that sometimes as a manager, you're going to be wicked or bad. Be an EOA, be an equal opportunity after. That means everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. If nobody gets it, nobody gets it. Everybody gets it. Everybody
Exactly.
gets it. That in that way, that means if you tell me and your papa is sick, I approve 2 days leave. If you like, be my manest man, I approve 2 days leave. If you like, don't be my man, yes, man, I have 2 days leave. You see what I mean? So sometimes let us also note that let's not carry our own workplace bullying trauma to somewhere else and start doing it, because could swing us both ways. I've seen it swing both ways in terms of, in one way, the person became really a bully. In the other way, the person also became very compassionate to anybody just accusing with allegation and nothing on it. So it's important that we create the environment. We try to stop the things in the environments that will create bullying, favoritism. Just simply put, be provide places where equity and fairness can thrive, and in such a way you just discourage how people. If it's merit you want to use merit. If it is a whatever system you want to, just make sure it's across the board so everybody benefits from it. That way you stop the story. That's where you stop the plenty
Exactly.
talk.
That is such an important point right there. Don't end up becoming what you yourself detest. If you and I went to the same school, you know how some seniors would do. They'll be like, in our day they punished us, so we are waiting to punish our junior. So now they will not even become worse than the people that punished them in the first place. You'll be like, waiting now.
Just want to bring my leg come out and
Sorry, which school did you go with? If I
we
just
went.
want to bring
Oh,
my leg come out and I beg there are
he
people where
went to military
classes.
school.
which set was he?
I beg don't I beg just give me
I bet Abby, which set was he, Ojari?
He
just
was in the same set
you
with
know no
Ron.
you know no
I mean, the guy go and plant his head there somewhere in the form.
You see,
Go and plant the work order.
your senior
I was
has
just
told you
waiting
to go
for
and
the
plant your head, though.
Go
I was
and
waiting for
plant
her
the
to
work
say it.
order.
I was waiting for her to say it.
So we went through that process where seniors will say, like a junior will say, when I become a senior, I'm going to terrorize people, I'm going to torture them, I'm going to do this because my seniors did it to me. And again, you see, I think upbringing and everything is important, and not tooting my own horn, because I was severely bullied when I was in school. I made a point of duty to really be a kind of place of safety. And in fact, it's funny how many years after, how many decades, I want to not say the number, how many decades after a junior will see me on the street or will talk to me or will have a phone call and be like, I remember when you used to hide me under your bed so that some senior will not find me to punish me. And I was like, it's true, I used to do that. I completely forgot that I used to hide people under my bed, like my juniors.
So
Like, I'll
you are
just say
the
junior, the junior will just run up to me and go,
see why
senior
I
Happy,
say
please,
see why
senior,
I
this
say
is blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, yeah, get under my bed. Go
Abby,
ahead. Do
Abby,
you have a book? Yes, yeah,
see
go
why I
under
say
my bed.
yeah. Now I can say the other story. I can see why you people are the type of people that are making our jobs hard. See that's the wahala.
Why? How was I making your job hard?
Think about it. Okay, think about it. Same FMS, Abby. I was the provost, I was the last corporal staff.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you expected me to run school. How I could run school? Then you will have person under bed. For what reason? That
That's your
going too
problem,
back.
oh.
That's the wahala. So
That's
as the
your
corporal,
problem. You should tell the seniors that were determined to frustrate the lives of juniors
so
that
as the
they should
long
stop.
you think about it, that. But however, I understand what you mean. It's
Well,
just important
anyways, yeah. So
that we mention those things.
again, you'll be amazed where, because this world is such a small place. you'll be amazed where you will meet a manager. I remember one of the managers that tortured my life. I met her in town in Bolton. This woman could not look me in the face. She was with her family and she couldn't look at me. She just quickly ducked her head and everything. And I was like, chai. And the funny thing was that I used to love this woman like mad. All of a sudden, we came back from one holiday, her brain just switched. So, all kinds of things happen. But the most important thing is that treat others the way you want to be treated. That I think that should be the golden watchword. And some people like to be treated like animals. Please, if that's your case, know you're a special breed. Don't treat other people like that. Don't treat other people
Yeah.
like that. But generally decency, as if I said fairness, equity, just be kind. It won't kill you to be kind. It won't kill you to actually let people enjoy the job that they do. And for people who are at the other end, set standards. I'm telling you, there's nothing like when you have boundaries. I want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to Dr. Seno, because this is not even just boundary at workplace, this is boundary in life. I used to leave my phone open all the time and I'll be terrorized by all kinds of people calling me at 12 midnight because they knew I was an insomniac. But then sometimes, even as an insomniac, maybe sleep will catch me around that 12. And that's when somebody will call me at 12 midnight. They want to come and ask me one stupid story, question, or tell me one stupid story that could have waited to the next day, that kind of thing. And Dr. Senu taught me how to put do not disturb on my phone. So anybody that I'm speaking to after 10 o'clock is because I want to speak to that person. Nobody can bug me. So Nana, you know that you're a special somebody to me. Because we
No,
usually
that
talk,
can't.
we usually talk
To
after
whenever. To whenever, man.
we we usually talk after midnight. But basically, even in your private life, sometimes you have to put that do not disturb on your phone, so that when your boss is
Exactly.
trying to reach you and cross that boundary, the thing just tell them, away, time have passed. You cannot talk to this person till tomorrow morning. And you said there's so many ways, especially with technology, there's so many ways to set boundaries and set down standards. So I think we will continue this conversation tomorrow, because some people are still reaching to me saying that they're really interested in this conversation, but unfortunately they've not been able to get onto the program. So we will continue this topic next week. But we still have more comments. Nana, do you want to read some of these comments? Mr. H has read some. There's one from the private chat. Okay, it
I
was
can't
you.
see. I can't see the
Wait, wait,
comments. I can't see
wait.
any comments.
Let me put it up. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay. I can see it now.
Wait. I will actually highlight it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is from your love, your sweet darling love.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. But as Kayode or DJ said then, ask yourself, what are you fighting for? Even if you win, you may still have to go.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that's
Exactly.
this was my case. That first story I said, that
Yeah.
was just it. Um,
Wait, I'm trying to.
okay,
Is I
yes.
have.
So I'll just continue from there. I know where I am now. So be ready to go, but give them a run for their money or fight for compensation. A lawyer early
Absolutely.
is a good idea,
Yeah. So
but
spend that small money to get a lawyer.
not in Nigeria. The energy spent fighting organizations may impact on your health and also employability. Word goes out, and that's just it.
Absolutely.
hmm
Mhm.
Workplace bullying is abusive behavior and it's an often extension in many of narcissistic behavior, which Laraba does not think is an illness. Laraba, narcissistic behavior is not an illness?
Larava, referring to what you wrote on the forum.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yes, yes,
yeah.
yes,
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
because Dr.
Well,
Seni is a
bullying.
doctor, and when he was saying it is a disease, it's
hmm
an illness, he knew what he was
well, you
talking
can't
about.
you can't argue with the doctor. My dad is a
Uh-huh.
doctor, and
hmm
I can't argue with him. So I stand
Okay.
corrected.
So, okay, go to the next one.
Bullying. Protect yourself 10%. And the next one, Nana's voice at night. Okay, exception.
See, if I this is the love story that I'm dealing with, oh, I don't tire.
Please, no,
Now,
no, they bring
now
me for this
I'm,
story.
I'm
You
blushing.
don't want my
I'm
scatter
blushing.
English,
I'm
right?
Wait, if I
blushing.
say something, what did you say?
I say, no, they bring me for this story again. I don't want. I'm being very. This is a new year. I'm very
No,
good.
I'm just saying that this love story between Dr. Seno and Nana, I don't even know how to feel. Because Dr. Seno used to be my sweetheart. All of a sudden, Nana came.
Let
She
me see
just
now.
fapped him. She
Let me
fapped
see
him
now.
straight.
I meant 100%. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Oh mon Dieu.
So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate you. I really didn't expect it to go on to this hour or to this point, but there's no way I saw Ifeanyi and I was going to say Ifeanyi go like that. Lie, not in this life. So thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in, everyone who's joined us. So Mr. A, Nana Shehu, Sasha, Laraba, and of course Ifeanyi. Thank you guys so much for being here, for joining, and also to the people in the comment section, to Sister Ibidu, to Mr. Femi, who not only commented but also joined us. Thank you so much for that. Sorry about internet. Internet was interneting all of us. To Dr. Senu, to everybody. There's one other person who also, put in a comment that I'm trying to find the person. Greenland comes. So yes, thank you to everyone, and we will continue this. So please spread the news, tell people, let them come and share their experiences, come and share, how they were able to get away from bullies. Because it's one thing to talk about, oh, I was bullied, but we want to hear the success stories too. How did you deal with your bullies? Especially if the story is juicy and spicy, we will like that. So till we do this again, same time, same place, thank you everyone. Take care and God bless. Bye.
Bye.